Today let's continue talking about the Lindner Carbine. The Lindner gun was a paper cartridge French loader built in the 1860s. It was a little bit obsolete when it was born, but it was not a gun that was behind the times totally, because at the same years, although the metallic cartridge breech loaders had already appeared and showed out the amazing potential, the muzzle loaders were still serving in the military, and the metallic cartridge breech loaders also on the early stage and didn't be used very popular. The American Civil War was a very typical example in the 1860s, when various types of guns appeared in the war. We, as modern people, we can see the development of history very clearly. So, we can see Lindner was an inventor, but he had a smart business thinking. Maybe he found some proof of war will break out, because in the days leading up to the American Civil War, he had patented his design in both Belgium and Britain, and set up a facility in Hamburg. But the patented place of Lindner was in New York. So, this Hamburg might be the Hamburg of New York, or the Hamburg of Pennsylvania, which is closer to the New York City. But not the Hamburg in Germany, in preparation to possibly build more commercial muskets with the Lindner system in the future, more convenient. In Lindner's plan, he had managed to get more obsolete Austrian model 1842 Jaeger rifles and opened some model 1854 extra core carbines, also known as the low-range rifle, from the Piedmontese. Those guns assembly were captured during the 1859 Austro-Sardinian War, also known as the Second Italian War of Independence, with the Austrians. Lindner was going to modify them into his new breech loading system and make them shorter to a carbine look. Then, he offered them for sale to the US government. When the Civil War broke out, the Union and Confederate armies urgently needed weapons. On November 6, 1861, he got his first order for 400 carbines from the US Ordnance Department, and the guns were insured with the 1st Michigan Cavalry Regiment. In his first supply of the Lindner carbine, most of them were modified from the famous Jaeger rifles. So we might also think that, in fact, these guns were used guns or renovated guns. But because of the war, the commanders had no time to choose old guns or new guns. The first mission was to get guns. It was mentioned that during the invention and development of Lindner, he also got some people who were the promoters of his new design. Samuel B. Smith of New York was one of the promoters, and at the same time, he also was engaged as a sales agent by Lindner. At the time, more people found the Lindner's invention. There was a man, Arthur Eastman of Manchester, New Hampshire. At the start, he wanted to purchase the old Hope carbines from the government and alter them to the Lindner system. Eastman produced 2 samples, but unfortunately, the Ordnance Department simply didn't like this idea, so then they rejected him. Then Eastman decided to take a new approach. He proposed to the governor of the state of New Hampshire, altering the flintlock hole rifles to the Lindner propagation system. This time, the discussion was very smooth. The governor agreed to it, and Eastman cooperated with Elmskirk to alter 200 flintlock hole rifles. Additionally, Elmskirk, its full name was Elmskirk Manufacturing Company, which was a local company in Manchester, New Hampshire. Because of the war, the company had to start more military production, although it was a cotton textile company. During the Civil War, southern cotton became scarce, so the company's foundry made over 27,000 muskets and 6,892 Lindner carbines. So Elmskirk also was an important character in the Lindner carbines story. Back to the Eastman project, the conversion process was not easy, and it took several months, with guns being delivered to Elmskirk from July to the end of November. In 1861, however, the worst point was not on conversion, but on finishing. because the state changed their plan, they decided not to accept the guns for some unknown reasons. Finally, Eastman sold off the outright whole rifles to William Reed and Son of Boston at the price of $11.50. Well, before that, he must spend $10 to convert each rifle. So in this business project, Eastman might just recoup the cost or even lose the money on the transaction. By the way, Seb'xArmedCafé took part in the production, so now they have the equipment to produce the Lindner branch loading system. So on paper, Seb'xArmedCafé company also could accept the conversion works to the Lindner system. After the Eastman's project, there was another man who brought an old gun to Seb'xArmedCafé. This man was E.G. Allen of the National Steam Gauge Company in Boston, and this old gun was a Patton 1856 Enfield rifled musket. Obviously, he bought only one gun because it was just a sample. He planned to obtain a contract to convert the numerous English rifled musket from muzzleloader to breech loader in Massachusetts, but the Lindner system simply had some misfortune that anyone could make money from it, like everyone else who wanted to make money with Lindner firearms. Allen's plan wasn't accepted by the state of Massachusetts as well, but Allen didn't want to give up because he saw that the state acquired about 4,000 older M1841 rifles, known as the Mississippi rifle. He managed to obtain 3 of them to the Lindner system as a sample. In order to make less commercial disputes, Allen came to a patent royalties agreement with the inventor, Lindner. He would pay the inventor for the right to use the patent. Besides these works, Allen managed the plan that he wanted to alter the guns for the state of Massachusetts and sold the outright guns to the other states. However, he only produced 103 outright Mississippi rifles, including 3 sample guns only for the state of Massachusetts, and 200 outright Mississippi rifles that also added rest-mounted pip rear set for the Department of New England. Honestly, there simply is little information about this department on the internet, but at least this department should be the General Benjamin Butler's command, which aimed to organize the force to finish the attack missions for New Orleans when he established this department. So, because of the not really successful business progress, the Lindner percussion breech loader system was not built too much. Finally, it became one of the rarest collections among the Civil War weapons. But fortunately, nowadays, we still can find some old stories about this iconic weapon system. It makes us come back to that special history background and be able to see about our business operations in a wartime. Okay, this is a Lindner percussion breech loader system. If I got more information about this special firearm, I will expand my story in my future video. So, thank you for watching. Hope you can like this video. Have a good day. See you next time. Bye.